San Francisco has won the toss, and they have deferred, so they will kick it off here with the veteran and Bay Area native Joe Nedney doing the honors. Alvin Pierman is the deep man for Tennessee, standing a yard deep in his end zone. The Titans coming off their first victory of the season over Jacksonville last week. The Niners have dropped 3 in a row. We're underway in the city by the bay. Pierman will take it out of the end zone for Tennessee. Up the middle and will come up just short of the 20-yard line. Michael Robinson, first man down the field to make the play, a 21-yard return. Here we go, first play from scrimmage. 2 receivers, Gage and Washington for Tennessee. On a 1st and 10 from the 20 on a toss. Johnson looking to turn the corner, and he does. Streaking down the sideline, Chris Johnson gets a block from Nate Washington. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line for Tennessee. This time it's Johnson trying to cut it to the outside. And Johnson makes a man miss, and he's thrown out of bounds after a 3-yard gain by the safety Michael Lewis. With Vince Young at the University of Texas. 3 receivers set. Young, that sidearm delivery to the outside, and Justin Gage able to get the step and pick up 8 yards for a first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's no secret what they want to do offensively, and they want to run the football. This is a team that is committed to running the football. And last week, it was interesting how they worked with Vince Young. They just threw the ball 18 times. They want to be careful with him, particularly early in games. They want to help him get off to a good start.
He was 15 of 18, 125 yards with Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays. Had a touchdown, an interception, 30 rushing yards. He was very efficient in that win over Jacksonville. On first down, Young with a flag down, slings it to the near side for Nate Washington, and a clean catch, but a penalty marker on the play. 9-yard pickup, and our referee today is Carl Sheffers.
Offsides, number 98, defense. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
So they'll take the 2nd and 1 instead of the 1st and 5.
Well, you know, San Francisco has been very good on defense in these opening drives. It's the only team yet to allow any points on an opening drive. All season long, they've been very stingy to start games. And the other thing is, I really think it's going to be important for Vince Young and the offense to throw the ball early on 1st and 2nd down to back this defense off.
On a 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 46, Titans are on the move, first possession of the day. On a pitch, Johnson is swarmed. Gets hit by Abrea Franklin in the backfield, and a loss on the play as Johnson could not make a cut. A loss of 5.
Well, if you're going to play a 3-4 defense like the 49ers do, that guy right there, Abrea Franklin, you need production at the nose tackle position. He has been a force in the middle of this run defense. He leads the defensive line right now with 43 stops. He's had a number of tackles for losses. He is playing at a Pro Bowl level.
3rd and 6 now for Young and the Titans.
Now, this is where you have to be careful against this defense. They give you a lot of different looks.
Young working out of the gun. Rush coming. Young throws. Incomplete. It was off to the side of Chris Johnson, and the Titans have nothing to show for this opening drive. And the 49ers defense, Rich, as you talked about, that record is still intact. The only team in the NFL that hasn't allowed any points on an opponent's opening possession.
A big reason is that guy right there, Patrick Willis. I mean, here's a guy that just runs sideline to sideline. He makes a lot of plays, but he is also very, very good in their coverage packages.
Brett Kern, former Denver Bronco, will punt it. And Brandon Jones is the deep man standing at his own 10-yard line for San Francisco. Amato the snapper. Kern with a high, wobbly punt. And no fair catch called for, so Jones took a wallop. Candlestick Park, the site for the 49ers and the Tennessee Titans. It is the 12th all-time meeting between these two teams. Frank Gore single setback as the Niners take over at the 11. Smith to throw on first down. On a loop to Vernon Davis, not much there. No gain, in fact, as Michael Griffin was ready for it. Odds have been stacked against him, and here he is with an opportunity over the final 9 weeks to prove that he belongs in the NFL as a starting quarterback.
Well, critical in the evaluation for the next 9 weeks. He has to play well.
On a 2nd and 10, Smith a deep drop and throws to Frank Gore. He's got room to work with. Look out. Frank Gore across the 40-yard line. And a flag down late as Cortland Finnegan tracked him down. catch and run of 35 yards for the Pro Bowl running back.
Boy, they caught him in man-to-man coverage right there, Iron. That was why they had the big play.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 24, defense, grasping the helmet opening. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
And that's Chris Hope called on the penalty. Longest reception of the season for Gore.
And a nice job by Alex Smith. He's going to draw the rush. Watch him draw the rush, then fade to his right. Does a nice job getting the ball to Frank Gore. Now watch Frank Gore. He is very good in the open field. They caught Tennessee in a man-to-man defense. Frank Gore, he slipped right out the back door.
Titans are last in the NFL in passing defense, allowing 282 yards per game. They've given up 19 touchdowns through the air. So after the penalty, they spot the football at the 39-yard line of Tennessee. New set of downs for San Francisco to work with, and a double tight end set with Davis and Delaney Walker. Long count for Smith on first down. Short drop and too high on the throw for Walker. Seeing his first home action as a San Francisco 49er. Smith. And a quick throw over the middle to Walker in a matchup with Gerald McGrath, who is stepping in for the injured David Thornton, former Pro Bowl defensive back in his own right. On a first down after the 13-yard hookup. From the gun, Smith throwing over the middle and nobody home. In the direction of Vernon Davis, who has been the touchdown maker, into double coverage. So Alex Smith, you've really taken a look at the film, Rich. Just give us a sense for both of these guys, Smith in particular, what you see right now and what you see for the future.
Well, for both these quarterbacks, the second half of the season will be critical in the evaluation process for their careers moving forward. I just think these next 9 weeks are critical for them, and I think they both have to play well. Both these organizations need to make some decisions about the quarterback position moving forward.
We are yet to see a running play here for San Francisco. It's been all pass. Now they go to the run. Gore with a spin move and carries to the 20-yard line. Keith Bullock there to make the play. It's a 6-yard gain. And Jimmy Ray now calling the plays for San Francisco. Out of the gun. Smith gets out of trouble on the move. And Smith is hit. Comes up short of the first down. Took a shot along the sideline as he tried to extend his body, but not quite enough.
Boy, this is a great play by Cortland Finnegan. I mean, he's all the way on the other side of the field. He comes all the way across the field and makes this tackle short of the first down.
So 4th and 1, San Francisco is going to send Joe Nedney onto the field, trying to get on the board first. The punter, Andy Lee, will hold it. Brian Jennings is the snapper. Nedney's been around the block 14 years in the NFL, and he's been consistent. 7 different NFL teams. 35-yard attempt. And whistle blows before the kick from Nedney.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Now that'll make it a little more challenging from the 35-yard attempt from Mike Singletary's kicker. 28%. We just saw 3rd down that they were unable to convert to keep this drive going. From 40 yards away, Nedney knocks it through. 49ers with a 3-0 advantage. Absolutely beautiful day here in San Francisco. 49ers with an 8-play, 67-yard drive capped off with a Joe Nedney 40-yard field goal. He kicks it off to Pearman. And he'll take a knee. Titans will have it once again at the 20-yard line. Offensively, though, they have the fewest pass completions of 20-plus yards in the NFL. Only 8 this season for the Titans. They don't have those big explosion plays through the air. Young, play action. They've been on the fake initially. And a flag down as Nate Washington brings it in. Penalty marker on the play. If it stands, it's a first down for 18 yards. And it's coming back.
Fire the pass. Contact. Number 25 of the defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play. First down.
Oh, penalty against San Francisco on the push-off. Terrell Brown. What did Vince Young tell us when we asked him about Terrell Brown? He goes, yeah, he's my buddy, but I'm going after him today.
Yeah, they played together in Texas. You're going to see here right on the sidelines. You don't see it, but Nate Washington, who's come along the last couple of weeks, he's starting to make plays out there. It's interesting to see Tennessee throw the ball a little bit on first down. I think that's going to be important in this ball game.
Washington signed a 6-year, $27 million deal with Tennessee. On the pitch, little option play. Young and Chris Johnson as he zigzags towards the sideline. Run support from Shawntae Spencer to bring him down. It's a 5-yard pickup. Well, Tennessee comes in number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards per game, 162.3 rushing average, thanks to Chris Johnson, who's averaging 6.9 per clip. He's having a huge season.
Yeah, this is who they are. They are committed to running the football. That's what they have to do. Almost 30 rushes a game. And as you said, Ian, 5.5 yards a carry. They have to continue to run the ball with Chris Johnson.
Johnson's talking about flirting with 2,000 yards on the season. Play fake. Young throwing. Deep ball. Young looking for Gage and drops it in the bucket. Out of bounds. Big play downfield. Justin Gage getting separation from Spencer and Goldson.
Boy, you can really see Mike Heimerdinger. He's starting to get more confidence in Vince Young. The little play action early. It's a team that can run the ball, so why not come out and throw it a little bit early in the game? You see Justin Gage right there. He gets on top of the corner and the safety in 2 deep coverage. But a great job by Vince Young putting this ball out in front of Justin Gage and giving him a chance to make a catch on the boundary.
First and goal. Johnson gets buried. No room to work with. It's a loss of 1. Abrea Franklin stuffing Chris Johnson.
You know, early in this game, you can already see the mindset of the Tennessee Titans. They want to run the ball on the edges. They want to run the ball on the perimeter because this San Francisco defense is very stout down the middle. And the other thing is they want to take some shots on first down with Vince Young throwing the ball a little bit to keep San Francisco off balance.
On a second and goal now for Tennessee. Toss to Johnson, and he's caught from behind by Patrick Willis. Johnson has incredible speed at the running back position, we know it. Guess what? Willis has equally impressive speed for a linebacker.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. We talked with defensive coordinator Greg Minuski last night. He said, I'm going to give you some words of wisdom. I told our defense this. He said, listen, proper angles defending Chris Johnson are huge. He said, don't underestimate his speed.
Titans trying to punch this one in. Young on a handoff. Johnson looking to throw it. Back of the end zone, it's incomplete. Bo Scaife, intended receiver. And the Titans and Mike Heimerdinger going into the bag of tricks. The 49ers were prepared for it.
Well, they must have saw something on film, but the 49ers do a nice job, particularly in the secondary. They weren't fooled at all. You can see Chris Johnson there. He's just trying to get a grip on the ball, trying to throw that one in the back of the end zone to Bo Scaife.
And Johnson took a shot from Terrell Brown. Titans will have to settle for a short field goal attempt with Rob Baronis, one of the most consistent kickers in the NFL. This is from 21 yards away to tie it up. Kern will hold it. Ken Amato the snapper. And the 21-yard field goal is good for Baronis. Baronis to kick it off. Michael Robinson and Glenn Coffey are deep. This will be Robinson from the 2. Robinson looks for a lane. And here they are. Head coach is going head-to-head. Frank Gore getting out in space, and Gore with a shake and bake move out across the 40-yard line. It's a 13-yard pickup for Frank Gore. You know, we talked about the quarterbacks, obviously. You know, that's a huge storyline with Smith and Young. Well, rushing is a big storyline as well because you still have 2 of the better running backs in the NFL going head-to-head. Tennessee, they've had issues.
Yeah, well, you know, they played the run very well the first 5 weeks, but the last 2 weeks, Ian, they have not. And the big reason why is poor tackling, particularly in the secondary. It really hurt them the last 2 weeks.
Last week, despite the victory, they gave up 177 yards to Maurice Jones-Drew. Here's Smith, straight back, look out. Alex Smith. Javon Hay leading that brigade for Tennessee. And a loss of 6 on the sack for the Titans. Second and long now from the 35, and too high on the throw. They were trying to get Michael Crabtree on a short route and a turn up field, trying to create after the catch. And it's 3rd and long now for San Francisco.
Well, you can see Chuck Cecil right there, and you know, it was interesting. We sat down with him last night. So the biggest disappointment is when there are breakdowns in the secondary. That is his group. That's his guys that he coached last year as a secondary coach, and he expects more of them. Guys like Cortland Finnegan, that should help having him back and healthy once again.
There's no doubt. It strikes a nerve with Chuck Cecil, who's a former Pro Bowler at the safety position. Isaac Bruce now in there for San Francisco on a quick toss. And And a pick play out there on the far side, and Crabtree has no room to work with. Jason Jones sniffing it out for Tennessee, and they limit San Francisco to a 3-yard gain on 3rd and long. The 49ers will punt.
Well, that was not a good sequence of plays for the 49ers, and it really gets back to what they've done on first down, and they've not been a very good offense on first down. Their first down production has to be better. That's why they get themselves some big numbers on 3rd down.
Andy Lee, a Pro Bowler in 2007. He's proven he can handle the candlestick wind. He's punting to Alvin Pierman. Pierman backpedals, and this one will roll and just sit there. What a punt!
Well, you can't do much better than that.
Andy Lee stuffs it inside the 5. Joining you from Candlestick Park, opened back in 1960. Tennessee Titans take over with a 1st and 10 from the 4, and it's Johnson up the middle for a 4-yard gain. Takeo Spikes, the veteran linebacker. He's really been a big help to Patrick Willis.
Well, I think it's significant. You know, we talked with Mike Heimerdinger last night. He's done a nice job really tailoring the game plan to take advantage of what Vince Young does well, some of his strengths. And it was clear when you watched him play last week, they did a lot of things differently offensively to take advantage of what he's very comfortable doing.
2nd and 6, and Johnson met very quickly by Harrelson. A loss of 3. Paris Harrelson right on the snap made his move.
Yeah, they don't even block him on the backside. That's amazing. On the backside of a run, you turn the will linebacker loose, Paris Harrelson, and don't even block him. Chris Johnson had no chance on that run.
This is the number 2 rush defense in the NFL, allowing just under 85 yards per game. They have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this season. Fans getting vocal early. Dime package here for San Francisco on a 3rd and 9 passing situation for Tennessee. Young operating out of the gun. Fake the handoff. Little toss is too high for Justin Gage. And the Titans forced to punt.
Well, they had a chance there, and that's just, you know, you talk about Vince Young. That's something he normally does well. The quarterback movement, throwing the ball out on the edge. He just misses a wide open Justin Gage.
And there was room to work with downfield. So Brett Kern is on to punt it. And Brandon Jones is standing right about midfield waiting for it. Should be excellent field position here for San Francisco. Remember, Andy Lee really set this up with his 57-yard punt. They don't rush Kern, they back off. Jones angled towards the sideline, out of bounds. With you today on the western shore of the San Francisco Bay, the 49ers and the Tennessee Titans tied at 3. Just over 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. San Francisco takes over a 1st and 10 at the 49. Handoff to Frank Gore. Up the gut for a gain of 2. Kevin Vickerson helping to make that stop along with Stephen Tulloch. Some news and notes around the NFL Week 9. How about the Cincinnati Bengals knocking off Baltimore for the 2nd time this season? Tom Brady over 300 yards, 27th time. Patriots are 6-2. Peyton Manning over 40,000 yards passing, did it in a decade. And Kurt Warner still chugging along. 5 touchdown passes today over the Bears.
Well, you're looking at 3 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks there, and those guys play at a high level each week. They take a great deal of pride in their preparation and performance.
Delaney Walker sets up in the slot. Smith flushed out of the pocket, throwing, and nobody home. There is not a 49er even close as he threw it away. William Hayes supplying the heat on Alex Smith, and it brings up 3rd down.
Boy, that's on Alex Smith. When that play right there, that ball has to come out. There's no other option. There's just one option. It's a reverse pivot. That's a slant route. The ball must come out. Just a little inexperience there from Alex Smith.
Smith's record as a starter, 11-20. He's actually lost 6 consecutive starts.
Well, I think when you're learning a new offense every year, your fundamentals go right out the window because you're so concerned about the playbook and plays. He needs to get back to basics and trust his footwork.
Play clock is winding down. Shotgun formation. Smith has the time. Throwing. And picked off. Tipped up in the air and intercepted by Rod Hood. Rod Hood's got running room. Breaks 1 tackle. And Hood still on his feet. Brought down inside the 25-yard line. So the Niners turned it over as Smith's ball was tipped. And it stayed up in the air for Hood to slide in and make the pick.
This took all day, and I sat there and watched it. He stared it down, and you just look how far the receiver, Crabtree, is out of the break. He gave Michael Griffin, the safety, plenty of time. He tried to stick that one into too deep coverage. You can't, they always say if you wait, you're late in this game. That ball took way too long to get there.
So excellent play by Griffin, leaving his feet to keep that ball in play. And Rod Hood, who started for Arizona in the Super Bowl and then couldn't find a job. He was cut by Cleveland and Chicago in the preseason. He comes up with the interception. Handoff to Johnson, running into a crowd, and no gain, maybe a half a yard depending on the spot. Isaac Sopoaga making the play, first man there for San Francisco.
You know, it's amazing. You're talking about Rod Hood, who made the interception. I mean, on the street 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, the guy wasn't even playing football. He's come in. He's made some huge contributions in this secondary, cut by Cleveland and Chicago in the preseason. Here's a guy that started, as you said, in the Super Bowl last year for Arizona.
And a 44-yard return after the pick. Young straight back on a short throw, gets Bo Scaife involved, his former collegiate teammate at Texas. And Scaife tackled after a gain of 5. Patrick Willis among those over there for San Francisco. Down to 25 seconds left in this first quarter. Rod Hood, with the injury to Nick Harper, opportunity arises, and Hood has stepped in with his second interception, former Arizona Cardinal and former Philadelphia Eagle. So the Titans will have it. Tennessee and San Francisco tied at 3 as we start the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Rich Gannon, the rest of our CBS crew joining you from Candlestick Park. Titans won their first game of the season last week over Jacksonville. 49ers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. From the gun, Young throwing a quick toss right over the middle and complete to Justin Gage. It's a 7-yard gain and a first down for the Titans.
Well, I'll tell you what, Vince Young looks very comfortable right now, and I really saw progress last week when I went back and watched the film in his first start. It was his first time as a player in the National Football League where he hasn't been sacked or he didn't throw an interception, and I really thought that eliminating the negative plays, some of the poor decisions that have crept into his game was important. Last week he was flawless in terms of taking care of the football and making good sound decisions.
He actually has 5 straight wins as a starter, overall record of 19-11. Soft toss to Nate Washington, and Washington is out of bounds. It's a 3-yard gain for Washington. More of a vertical threat, trying to get him involved in a tight space. And the ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line.
Well, he gives you so much more to prepare for as a defense when you play against a quarterback like Vince Young. You know, we talked with Mike Singletary the other day. He said, you know, obviously a guy like Kerry Collins can beat you with his arm, but Vince Young can beat you with his arm as well as his legs.
Lendale White is in the backfield and gets the carry. White banged down after the gain of 2. He ran into Patrick Willis along with Isaac Sopoaga, and it brings up 3rd down now for Tennessee.
Well, he's amazing. You know, you got 2 completely different styles of back with Chris Johnson and Lendale White. Lendale White, he comes in, he's the bruiser. He can move piles. He's great in short yardage and goal line, and where he can really be effective as at the end of games to ice the game in the 4th quarter when they have a lead. He can really make those tough yards.
Shotgun formation on 3rd and 5.
There's the quarterback draw.
Vince Young will do it himself. Touchdown, Tennessee.
And we saw this last week with him. We just talked about his ability to run for 3 or 4 first downs every week, and his ability to run in this part of the field really can be frustrating for a defense.
As Baronis adds the extra point. All set up by the Rod Hood interception. 6 plays, 24 yards. And Vince Young, that's a perfect example on that drive. Young did it when he needed to. Got the touchdown run. Michael Robinson on the return. And Robinson is cut down at the 30-yard line by Stanford Kegler on special teams. 1st and 10 for San Francisco from the 30-yard line. Frank Gore, single setback, 49ers. Not a whole lot to speak of offensively. A throw to the sideline, and the old veteran, Isaac Bruce, number 2 all-time on the NFL's receiving yards list behind Jerry Rice. It's a 3-yard gain. Handoff to Frank Gore. Gore nearly galloped out of trouble and into some open space.
A nice luxury to have to be able to plug a guy in like Barry Sims and not have any drop off.
On a 3rd and 1, take the handoff. Smith now out of the pocket. He'll run for the first down. Alex Smith trying to resurrect his NFL career, the #1 pick back in 2005. He's had 2 injury-plagued seasons, 3 shoulder surgeries. Actually took a pay cut to stay with San Francisco. Smith throwing over the top and caught by Davis. Big gain.
I'll tell you what, wait till you see where this ball is thrown. He actually throws it on the wrong shoulder, just a great adjustment. And here's a guy that's got more and more couple. Good job looking him up, but watch where this ball is. He actually has to turn and find it, and that's a pretty good safety right there in Michael Griffin. But this guy right here, he has unusual speed. Very difficult for linebackers and even safeties to cover this guy in the open field. Boy, he is just getting more and more comfortable with this offense each and every week. It's a system that really takes advantage of the strengths of Vernon Davis.
Longest pass play of the season for Vernon Davis, covering 39 yards. And a 1st and 10 inside the 15 for San Francisco. Smith straight back, protection holds up, floats it to the end zone.
Talked about Chuck Cecil last night. He said, listen, in red zone defense, you better track and find number 85, Vernon Davis. If you don't do that, he says, we're not doing our job. It's Alex Smith's favorite target. He already has 7 touchdowns. He leads the National Football League with touchdown catches.
1st and 5 inside the 10. On a handoff, Frank Gore doesn't go down on first contact. Able to stay on his feet, very close to a first down as Chris Hope will be given credit for the stop for Tennessee.
Well, you know, this guy has a low center of gravity, and the more and more you watch him, he runs right through arm tackles. He's not an easy tackle in the open field, and he's got a lot of speed as well, but maybe not quite what Chris Johnson has, but he can still get you the tough yards up inside.
Hard-nosed Frank Gore. He has 3 touchdown runs of 60-plus yards this year, the first 49er to do that since Garrison Hurst back in 1998. They'll measure it. Just got enough for the first down. Double tight end set. 1st and goal for San Francisco. Walker, the motion man. Handoff, it's Gore. Frank Gore, he's in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Boy, that's a good job up front on that left side of that offensive line, and a very nice job by Frank Gore, being patient, bouncing it to his left, and then hitting right up the field.
5th rushing touchdown of the season for Frank Gore. Joe Nedney on for the extra point. We are tied at 10 here at Candlestick. San Francisco 49ers were one of the biggest surprises in the NFL after the first month of the season, but a 3-game losing streak leaves them at 3-4, and this is such a pivotal time for the Niners if they're going to have a shot in the NFC West. Off the kick from Nedney, Alvin Pierman. And Pierman is dropped out across the 25-yard line by Josh Morgan. 1st and 10 from the 25 for Young and the Titans. Young airing it out on first down and incomplete. Justin Gage down the field with Shawntae Spencer there step for step. 2nd and 10 coming up. All tied up here in San Francisco. Handoff, Lendale White. And White nowhere to go. A 1-yard gain. Justin Smith fully prepared on that running play by Tennessee. Tennessee has been held to 27 rushing yards so far. Young, look out! Young avoids the rush initially, and now he's got nowhere to move. Shawntae Spencer. And then the 49ers just feasted on Vince Young once he got stuck in the pocket. 9-yard loss on the play.
And if you're Vince Young, you got to keep an eye, especially when the ball is on the left hash, for corner pressure. Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, he likes it in these situations. Vince Young never sees it, never feels it, and winds up taking the sack.
So Brett Kern will punt it. He's replaced Reggie Hodges on this Titans roster, and so far so good. His first week was excellent. That was not his best punt. Brandon Jones on the return, and Jones moving in the wrong direction.
Boy, that bothers me as a returner. I like guys who hit it north and south.
The last time these two teams played here in San Francisco, October of 1999. 49ers won that game 24-22. Jeff Garcia to T.O. on what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown for San Francisco on that day. 12th all-time meeting. Smith play action from the 45. He slings it over to Frank Gore, who makes his way into Tennessee territory, and spun down after the gain of 8. He's 7 of 12, 103 yards, and an interception. Play fake, now in trouble, and the ball poked loose. Free ball as William Hayes knocked it out. And who's got it?
You got to make sure you got 2 hands on the ball. A little careless there by Alex Smith.
Now Frank Gore got 2 hands on the ball to recover it, but that changes the whole dynamic of this possession.
Yeah, and what happens is you have Vernon Davis there trying to block the edge, and that was a mismatch. And you need some help with Adam Snyder, the right tackle. But right there, you got to make sure you secure the ball and put it away.
So now San Francisco faces a 3rd and 23. This drive started at the 45-yard line.
And if you're Tennessee defensively, you got to be thinking screen or draw in these situations. 3rd and a bunch.
Glenn Coffey, he is the rookie out of Alabama. He's checked in. And the inside handoff, it is Coffey.
That should be a defensive coordinator.
Really? You think that's where your future is?
I think it might be.
Andy Lee on to punt it. Alvin Pearman standing at his own 12.
Boy, he's really kicking it well.
Spiraling kick. It brings Pearman back to the 4. And tripped up short of the 15-yard line. On a 1st and 10, just short of the 15. Handoff, Chris Johnson. Johnson breaking to the clear. And tracked down by Patrick Willis. Ahmad Hall, the fullback, with a good block. And that helps spring Johnson loose for a 26-yard rip.
I'll tell you what, this guy is scary. I mean, he had a franchise record, 228 yards last week. When he gets on the 2nd level, you hold your breath if you're San Francisco. This guy can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. And you talked about his unusual speed. It really shows up. You know, it's amazing. You watch all the film. It's amazing. These defensive players, they can all run. But this guy, when he gets into the secondary, he clearly separates.
That franchise record topped the previous high from Eddie George. Play action, Young throwing, high throw, handled by Johnson. But it allowed Willis time to recover defensively and hold him to a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. Handoff for Johnson. And a stutter step up the middle as Franklin is the first man there. It's a 4-yard gain for Johnson. Bo Scaife sets up in the slot as a 3rd receiver. Young to throw. Young on a line. Incomplete. Just engaged the intended target. And Terrell Brown, who is an emerging playmaker for this San Francisco defense, there defensively.
And this is where Vince Young has to become more proficient. He has to get better and more comfortable in the pocket. You know, that throw right there, he didn't even give his receiver a chance. Now, it gets back to this guy, his evolution as a quarterback, getting better with the protections and the concepts, the reads, the progressions, and finally understanding how defenses are trying to defend you.
Brett Kern, the punt. And Jones lets this one bounce. Flag is down, thrown back at the 49-yard line as it's touched up at the 13. It's a 40-yard punt. Illegal man downfield. 3:32 to go in this first half.
You know, when you force Vince Young to operate in the pocket, his completion percentage goes down, the decision-making gets cloudy, and he's not as efficient. He's much better out on the edge where he can make plays with his legs or his arm. He's more comfortable out
player
there.
downfield on the kicking team, number 51. That penalty will be added to the end of the return. 1st down.
What'd you buy your offensive lineman? Gloves?
Watches. I actually bought him watches.
Watches.
But the deal was you had to make the playoffs. You can't go 9-7 or 8-8 and expect to get a watch. You got to make the playoffs. That's the minimum. You know, that's kind of how that was my MO. As I kind of went along, and I stepped up to the plate in a big way. I went out and got him really nice watches.
Yeah, I don't want to give a free plug here, but was it a high-level watch?
It was a very nice watch. Let's just put it that way. And I got all of them watches, not just the 5 starters. I got anybody that was an offensive lineman. Your practice squad guy made no difference. That's how I roll, brother.
How about the fellas? Well, what about for the crew? Hand off to Frank Gore.
Playoffs.
And Frank Gore with a spin move out across the 25-yard line. 2nd and 1 here for the 49ers. Gore stays in the game.
Mike done a good job with that hard count today. Oh, got him again.
You could feel it coming. Tony Brown bit. Carl Cheffers.
Encroachment, number 97, defense, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Now the versatile Tony Brown is having a solid season. Remember, Tennessee doesn't have Albert Haynesworth after signing that huge deal with Washington, and that one was pretty obvious.
Yeah, voice inflection. You know, it's amazing. You look at Alex Smith. He seems more comfortable with himself now, and it's amazing because he doesn't have a lot of history or success to really fall back on. And guys never had a chance to completely get comfortable in any system because every time he did, they changed it. They brought someone else in as a coordinator.
And Smith. Oh, very tight space for Michael Crabtree. Smith threading the needle in between McGrath and Hope for a 9-yard gain. And how about Crabtree with the presence of mind to haul that one in cleanly?
Well, the coaches are really excited about this young player. I mean, it's amazing when you consider the fact that he missed the whole offseason, all of training camp. He rolled in a couple weeks back. He jumped right in, and he has had an immediate impact with this offense.
And they face a 2nd and 1 from the 41. Handoff, Frank Gore, he's got the first down. Stopped at the 45-yard line. Niners looking to work quickly here with 1:35 to go. Smith throwing, and caught by Crabtree. To the 38-yard line of Tennessee. So the Niners are on the move. That one covers 17 yards through the air.
You know, it's amazing. This kid has tremendous hands. He's extremely confident. You watch Michael Crabtree. He plucks the ball out of the air. He's very comfortable catching the football.
From the gun, Smith hit as he throws, but able to get rid of it to Vernon Davis. He's brought down at the 34 after the 4-yard pickup.
You know, if Alex Smith can play like he has the last 6 quarters, the future could be bright here in San Francisco with players like Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree and Frank Gore. I really believe they have some of the pieces in place to really do something special here in San Francisco.
They take a timeout with 1:03 left on the clock. And for Alex Smith, how about that dynamic between him and Jimmy Ray? Smith seemed most comfortable back when Norv Turner was calling plays. That's when things really started to click for Smith and the Niners offense. How about the relationship between Smith and Ray, a coach that you're very familiar with?
Yeah, it's actually a work in progress. You see Jimmy there. We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I just think they have to take a slow, methodical approach with him. Allow Alex to dictate where he's at and what he's comfortable doing in this offensive system.
On a 2nd and 6, after the timeout, shotgun formation, some extra time for Smith. Operating, far side, incomplete. Isaac Bruce slipped down. And it brings up 3rd and 6 now for San Francisco. Clock stops with 58 seconds to play in the first half. And Bruce didn't look right as he was coming off the field. And he's going to make his way to the San Francisco sideline. 4-time Pro Bowler. Now in his 16th year in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams. Important play here on a 3rd and 6 for Smith and the Niners. Smith throwing and complete to Davis. He is his go-to guy. The chemistry is obvious between Alex Smith and Vernon Davis. Smith came to the Niners in 05, Davis in 06, both with high expectations, and it's starting to pay off. That's a 13-yard pickup and a timeout taken with 48 seconds to play.
Not only in this part of the field, but all day. This is where they want to go with the football. Obviously, Alex Smith has a certain comfort level there. He leads the team in receiving yards and touchdowns. I mean, he's really emerging as a dominant tight end in the game. He had 9 touchdown receptions in his first 3 seasons. He already has 7 so far this year. As you said, this guy is playing at a Pro Bowl level.
Entering action today, San Francisco lowest red zone possessions in the NFC. They have an opportunity here with a new set of downs to work with from the 20. Out of the gun, Smith throwing. Over the middle, Frank Gore, little juke move up the field. Clock is moving, 39 seconds left. Vincent Fuller coming over to make the play for Tennessee. It's an 8-yard pickup.
You got time. You still have the timeout. Plenty of time here to get these guys lined up.
Smith pumping, Smith on the move, out of the pocket, and Smith will throw it.
Wow, what a good throw.
Touchdown! Jason Hill. Niners go in front, and Smith kept that play alive.
Boy, that was a big-time throw, Ian. I mean, just the patience. I thought he was going to throw it away. He held that till the very last second. He was on the boundary. He had a good pocket awareness to feel.
The development of Alex Smith. An opportunity over the final 9 weeks of the season. 9-play, 82-yard drive. Joe Nedney kicks it off after the touchdown. Alvin Pierman to return it for Tennessee. And Pierman emerging out of that crowd. Out across the 30-yard line. Marcus Hudson the play on special teams. Alex Smith to Jason Hill. First catch of the season for Hill, the third-year wideout from Washington State. Third-round pick back in 2007. And just watching it from above, and we're high up here at Candlestick, kind of felt like Alex Smith was going to throw that football away, no?
I was convinced. I mean, he took it all the way to the very last second on the boundary, and just a good job by him not panicking and knowing exactly where his players were on the field and sensing and really feeling Jason Hill in the back of the end zone.
Only 12 seconds remaining in this first half. San Francisco now in front, 17-10.
Well, you run the ball once and you head to the locker room. That's what you do here.
They hand it off to Johnson. And Johnson gets an opportunity to add to his numbers here in the first half. 11 carries, 56 yards for Johnson. Remember, the 49ers deferred to open up, so they will receive to start off this second half. Rob Baronis will kick it off. Michael Robinson and Glenn Coffey are deep. And this will be Robinson from the goal line. Now that hole closed up in a hurry as he crossed the 20-yard line. Donnie Nicky with a play on special teams. 24-yard return with Smith and his big arm. On a handoff for Frank Gore. And trampled down after the gain of 2. Tony Brown there defensively making the play for Tennessee. 2nd and 8 coming up. All right, JB, Indianapolis has remained undefeated. New Orleans trying to do the same on a give for Frank Gore right up the middle. Carries to the 30-yard line. Kyle Vanden Bosch, first time we've called his name, combining with Keith Bullock to bring him down. Vanden Bosch, of everybody on this defensive line, he has absolutely missed Albert Haynesworth the most.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, he just has 1 sack this season, and the production just hasn't been there. You know, we talked a little bit about with him yesterday about Albert Haynesworth. He said, you know, where we really miss him is in our pass rush, our games, and the stunts that we work together on the right side of that defensive line. And he needs some help inside from Tony Brown and the rest of those guys.
3rd and 4 now for San Francisco. First possession of the second half. Niners lead at 17-10. Smith sets and fires, and it's complete to Jason Hill. And that's going to be a favorable spot, a 5-yard gain and a first down for the 49ers.
Well, that's a big conversion on 3rd down. You know, it's interesting. We talked with Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator, on Friday. You know, he said, I have to protect the quarterback a little bit with the game plan and with the calls. This is new to him. He hasn't had a ton of reps in this system. Good job there on 3rd down. Nice job by Jason Hill, who had the touchdown before the half, extending the ball to make sure they get that first down.
1st and 10 from the 35.
False start, number 85, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
1st and 15, back it up 5 yards to the 30. Smith in the pocket. And throws it over the middle to Frank Gore. And a short gainer on first down, getting back the yardage they lost on the penalty. +1, 6 yards, as McGrath and Tulloch collaborate to bring down Gore.
You know, as you know, Ian, I worked with Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator here in my days in Kansas City and Oakland. You know, I asked him about his initial impression of Alex Smith. You know, he said as a player, he had a low self-esteem. And he was distrustful because he had been beaten down so bad. And Jimmy's job was really to nurture him back. And the first major hurdle, he said, was really building a relationship with him and a trust factor. And that's an ongoing process.
Putting up solid numbers today, 15 of 21, 179 yards. And that one too low and off the mark for Josh Morgan. Morgan has not really been involved in the game plan. At least Smith hasn't looked his way all that often. 2nd year out of Virginia Tech, a big surprise last season. Turned out to be a 6th-round steal. His numbers have been modest in year number 2.
Yeah, they're young and inexperienced at the wide receiver position, besides Isaac Bruce, obviously a 16-year veteran, but some of those young guys are really coming along. It was interesting what they did with Michael Crabtree. You know, when he first got here, they didn't even bother start with the playbook. They said, just get him right into the game plans. Get this guy into the game plans because he's going to have to play for us right away.
It showed you there was such a void at that wide receiver position in that playmaking spot on the outside. Smith on third down. Out of the pocket, Smith trying to make something happen and throws it away.
They've gotten back to playing their style of defense. I think it all started last week. They're getting some pressure. They're getting after the quarterback. They got 4 sacks on David Garrard last week, and that's where it all starts for this Tennessee defense.
Andy Lee is having a big day. Punts of 57 yards, 60 yards in this one. Candlestick Park, it holds over 69,000 fans here in San Francisco. And the 49ers in front 17-10. Titans take over, first possession, second half. And Johnson tripped up by Paris Harrelson. A 1-yard gain for Chris Johnson. Let's take a look at the first half possessions for Tennessee. Vince Young looked sharp, 9 of 13, 108 yards, did have a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, again, it gets back to some of their third down conversions, keeping those drives alive and giving them more opportunities. When you look at what they've done the first 7 weeks of the season, their play count has been down. They're averaging probably around 54, 55 plays a game because they're not converting on third down.
2nd and 9 here for Tennessee.
Or option.
And Young on the toss for Johnson. Thrown down along the sideline by Manny Lawson. 3rd and 4. Young, not on the same page with Justin Gage. And the Titans are forced to punt. Opportunity there to convert on 3rd down.
And this is not the first time today where we've seen some confusion between Justin Gage and Vince Young. Clearly they're not on the same page. And in critical situations, boy, you just cannot have these type of mistakes.
So Kern will come on for his 5th punt of the day, replacing Craig Hendrick, who was placed on injured reserve. And Brandon Jones, the former Tennessee Titan, awaiting the punt. Kern gets all of it. Backpedaling, Jones. And he is bottled up very quickly at the 27-yard line. Tony Raggi has stepped in, a dependable veteran, now in his 5th year out of New Mexico State, number 69. Smith throwing on first down to Davis, able to turn that corner and get to the outside on Michael Griffin. It's an 11-yard gain. San Francisco came in today worst in the NFL. 49ers have gone 3 and out 40% of the time. We have not seen empty drives as much today for San Francisco.
Yeah, a big reason why is that guy right there, Vernon Davis, who caught that last pass. I mean, this guy is an explosive player. He has fun playing the game. When we sat down and visited with him on Friday, I mean, there's not an ounce of fat on this guy's body.
He is a specimen, 6'3", 250 pounds with speed. Smith is trampled down by Chris Hope. Operating from the gun, Smith. They handle the rush, and Smith releases the football. Jacob Ford coming over. I don't know if that whistle ever blew.
No, I don't. The official did not blow it, but I think clearly his arm was coming forward. Tell you what, Jacob Ford is doing a nice job today on coming off of that left side.
Ooh.
Beats Adam Snyder right there.
I got to tell you, on that second look, we'll look at it again. Jeff Fisher might have them take a look at this, and he just chucked the red flag onto the field. We just got a replay of that, and it was not nearly as obvious as it looked from up here on the live view, as Alex Smith lost the football, and Jacob Ford was the one who supplied the heat. Central Arkansas product. Carl Cheffers. Jeff Fisher has challenged the play on the field that Alex Smith fumbled the football. It was ruled incomplete during live action. The whistle didn't blow until the ball was scooped up by the Tennessee Titans.
I think the Titans are going to win this challenge. I think the ball was clearly out.
After review, it is a fumble recovered by Tennessee. It is their ball at the 36-yard line. Because they won the challenge, they will not be charged a timeout.
It was the helmet of Jacob Ford that made contact with the football.
You're going to see him right on the right side of your screen. He's beating Adam Snyder across his face, reaches it forward with his hand, his right hand, but now as he comes back around, that ball is clearly coming out of Alex Smith's hand before he starts the arm forward. Boy, just a good effort play right here by Jacob Ford.
So San Francisco turns it over. Tennessee takes over at the 36-yard line of the 49ers.
Now, if you're a good offense, you take advantage of these opportunities. You take advantage of the field position and the turnover generated by your defense.
Two tight ends, Scaife and Crumpler for Tennessee. Young on a handoff for Chris Johnson. Johnson cutting to the perimeter. And Johnson hit hard. On a 2nd and 2, right up the middle, Johnson's got a first down. First down for Tennessee. Play fake. Young looking, Young throwing. End zone, nobody there. Tripped up in the end zone was Nate Washington dealing with double coverage. It's 2nd and 10 for the Titans. They signed Keith Smith, veteran from Detroit, earlier this week, but he is inactive today. Back to the ground game. Johnson patient, waiting for a hole that never emerges. It's a 1-yard gain. Sopoaga along with Patrick Willis. Sopoaga is having an excellent season for San Francisco on this D-line in the 3-4 set.
They've been really solid up front. You said Sopoaga and Franklin and Smith. You know, really a group that you don't hear a lot about, but they have been proficient. They've been a productive group, and they played very well for Greg Minuski.
Now a 3rd and 9 from the 19. Fans responding, a full receiver set for Vince Young. Under 7 minutes to go in the 3rd. Titans down by 7. Set up the screen for Johnson, and Chris Johnson explodes inside the 5. Nice block from Scaife and Amano to help create some room for Johnson to work with a 16-yard gain.
And this guy is a very good screen runner because he's very patient. He has quick feet, great balance, and as we said, that high-end speed when he gets out on the edge. Good job by Vince Young being patient with his eyes downfield, drawing the rush, and allowing Chris Johnson to get out in front of that big offensive line.
Johnson, combined yardage over 100 on the day. What a playmaker, ran a 4.2440 at the combine. After the Titans timeout, Tennessee looking for the equalizer, 3 tight ends in. Toss for Johnson. Chris Johnson trying to extend his arm, and he comes up just short. Patrick Willis made a touchdown-saving tackle in the open field.
Well, they talked about getting the ball on the edge, the one to toss the ball to Chris Johnson. They really felt like that was the best way to attack this front 7 of San Francisco. They're very strong up the middle, try and get out on the perimeter, force guys like Willis to run the boundary.
2nd and goal inside the 1. Titans trying to tie it up. Handoff. Johnson steamrolls his way in. Touchdown, Titans. And the NFL's leading rusher finds his way to the end zone. Titans are an extra point away from knotting this one up at 17 apiece.
Well, good job there by Chris Johnson. An old staple play in football, the old blast play. Just follow the fullback. Ahmad Hall right up the middle.
Now Rob Baronis on for the point after. 7 plays, 36 yards, all of it to Chris Johnson. It's been a fun game. All tied up. Chris Johnson getting the touchdown. Normally, Johnson's touchdown runs this year are of 50 or more yards. This one was a short one. Inside a yard, Johnson able to punch it in for the score. And San Francisco has not given up a 100-yard rusher this season. Johnson's inching closer. He's got 82 yards on 18 carries today. 49ers will get the football back with 5:40 to play in this 3rd quarter. It's a rib contusion for Terrell Brown, and his return is probable for San Francisco. Baronis will kick it off. Michael Robinson, former quarterback at Penn State, is the return man for the 49ers. Robinson from the 1. Robinson hit head on as he crossed the 25-yard line. Boss is back in at left guard. Smith to throw it on first down and through the hands of Josh Morgan. Keith Bullock over there defensively. Gerald McGrath, the rookie out of Southern Miss, speedy linebacker, has stepped in for him. On a toss for Gore. Flag is down, and the Titans in pursuit. Stephen Tulloch. Excellent play along with Keith Bullock. And a loss of 1.
They're going to get 5 yards here against Tennessee.
Offside,
neutral zone.
defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
David Thornton is in spectator mode today. He's been a consistent player, former Indianapolis Colt. Excellent cover linebacker, and they're playing without him this afternoon. Another flag down, and this play never gets off. And a skirmish now, pushing and shoving.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Oh, he's getting sloppy.
Undre Wash got Delaney Walker out of there when tempers began to flare, and Walker was the one who got tossed down and then shoved by Vanden Bosch down on the ground. Singletary broke into the coaching ranks with Baltimore back in 2003 and stepped in for Mike Nolan last year when Nolan was let go. Smith throwing to Gore on the outside, and Gore spilled out. Rod Hood hanging on for dear life. Their season highlight video is going to be very long.
Nobody has scored more points than the New Orleans Saints. They are on a roll right now with Drew Brees and company.
And a flag down on a short yardage situation. The Titans snuff out Moran Norris. Penalty marker, though, thrown at the 37-yard line.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty. The resulting yardage is a first down.
Wow, twice on this possession. Jeff Fisher's defense has been burned by penalties.
And these are the kind of mistakes you're talking about. This is the reason why they're 1-6 right now. And again, the missed assignments, the mental errors, and just sloppy football, lining up in the neutral zone. You just can't do that, particularly in that situation on 3rd and 1.
Chuck Cecil, defensive coordinator, taking over for Jim Schwartz. Little trickery. Josh Morgan turns the corner. He's got some blockers and angled out of bounds. Right at the first down line. And it's a 10-yard gain for Morgan on the ground.
Well, I'll tell you what, Delaney Walker, he does a nice job. You're going to see him right here. He gets a block there. Then he goes on downfield and gets another one right here. Well, you have to do a good job out in front of these things. And Josh Morgan does a nice job turning it up, getting what he can.
So San Francisco now in Tennessee territory. Line of scrimmage is the 48-yard line of the Titans. We're down to 3:12 left in this third quarter. Tied at 17, Titans and 49ers. Inside handoff, Frank Gore. And Gore is brought down quickly by the likes of Gerald McGrath. It's a 1-yard gain. Keith Bullock helped finish him off. And the 49ers right in the middle of the pack. Smith with a rush coming, gets rid of it. And Vernon Davis. Inside the 40-yard line, Gerald McGrath drew that assignment. 8-yard gain.
Well, it's a good thing Alex Smith threw this ball when he did. They brought a corner blitz the other way, but McGrath has his hands full right now with Vernon Davis, and that's a mismatch in the flat. The rookie right there, he's making his first career start, the 4th-round pick, and going up against a pretty good player there across the line of scrimmage in Vernon Davis.
And they'll find you. They'll find the rookie, Rich, as you know. You lived it. And it looks like they've been targeting him on this drive. 3rd and 1. And Gore will power his way for the yard and change that he needed. Give him a gain of 2 on the play. Frank Gore is 5'9", 217 pounds, but very powerful. And he brings that combination of speed and strength. When Miami had that run of great running backs with Portis and McGahee and Gore, you talk to anybody from Miami, they tell you Gore was the best to get the direct snap. And Gore stays on his feet. Len Coffey is now in the backfield on first down, and flags come down. Little bit of movement.
False start, number 85, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It is amazing. In 1 year's time, Singletary had asked Davis to leave the field, and now he's one of the captains. Play action.
Screen.
They set it up for Coffee. And a flag down. Thrown at the line of scrimmage. Keith Bullock on the tackle with Javon Hay.
Ineligible player downfield, number 64 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And that's David Boss as time runs out here in the third quarter.
And that really took a while to develop. I don't think you can put that on David Boss. That screen took a long time to develop.
This has been an entertaining one. Tennessee and San Francisco starting play in the fourth, all knotted up. Frank Gore, handoff, tough inside runner. Gore brings it just shy of the 25-yard line. Heitman and Snyder with key blocks up front for a gain of 4.
Boy, that group up inside for the 49ers have done a nice job. That offensive line opening up some holes for Frank Gore and getting some movement at the point of attack.
Mixing it up on this drive, 5 rushes, 3 passes. Clock is moving here in the fourth. Smith sets up the screen. Oh, Vernon Davis, what athletic ability to stay on his feet. It looked like he was going to be down right away. Instead, it turns into a 7-yard gain for Davis. They need 5 yards to keep this drive alive. Motion man is Morgan. Tight formation for Smith, looking right at the first down marker, and Morgan is thrown down.
Boy, he's going to be just a little bit short, it looks like. Unless, of course, the official on the other side gives him the spot.
It's not going to be enough.
Boy, we're talking about it. He's moving the ball. Now it's enough. Yeah, the official from the other side came all the way over. Boy, it's still going to be close. And again, Alex Smith is late with some of these throws, and I've watched him. He's a little bit late. He just wants to make sure it's there. You have to be able to anticipate the ball has to come out quicker, particularly in those situations. Boy, he's just been a little bit late today. That comes with experience in the system. It's just something that he doesn't have right now. We talked with Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator. Don't have a real sense or history with him to know how he's going to react in certain situations.
First catch of the day for Josh Morgan. They will measure this, and it is short.
Wow, just a bit.
Well, what do you do here? You're looking at a field goal of 33 yards or 4th and less than a yard.
I think you go for it here. I really do. I think this team has lost 3 games in a row. You need something positive. You need to do something. You need to be able to make 12 inches at home in a situation like this.
And that's what they're going to do. 49er fans react here at Candlestick. Chuck Cecil barks out a defense. They need less than a yard.
I think you follow your fullback, Rand Norris, right up the middle.
They are 2 of 5 on 4th down tries this season. 4th and inches for the 49ers.
Or you can sneak it with your quarterback.
On the toss. And Gore's got it.
That was a risky call right there. Really risky on 4th and a foot.
6-yard gain, pushing and shoving.
Boy, it's good. You see, look who's pulling him away right there.
They are looking at the left knee of Delaney Walker. He limped off the field. And the 49ers now face a 1st and goal inside the 10, trying to break the tie. Gore and Robinson are in.
Well, they got one-on-one matchup up top with Michael Crabtree if they want it.
Fake the toss. Robinson inside, and he's thrown down for a loss. This has been a long drive. 8 minutes and 32 seconds bridging the 3rd and 4th quarters, and now a 2nd and goal for the 49ers.
They've done a nice job converting 3rd downs, and they've been better on 1st down during this drive. And we get to take some chances on the early downs against this Tennessee defense.
2nd and goal. Ball spotted now at the 11-yard line. 13th play for San Francisco on this drive.
We got Vernon Davis flexed up top. they like him in the red zone.
Smith throwing. Caught by Robinson. And hit out along the sideline after the gain of 4 by McGrath. So it sets up 3rd and goal. Smith, 224 yards through the air. He's been solid today, 21 of 30, a touchdown and a pick. 8 different receivers have gotten in on the action for San Francisco. Ball is at the 7-yard line. This is a 3rd and goal now for San Francisco.
Where both teams relying on the 4-man rush most of the day, and the defensive line on both sides have done a nice job getting some pressure on the quarterback. They haven't had to bring a lot of blitzes, although here we see one.
From the gun, Smith throwing, incomplete. Frank Gore felt he was held right at the goal line by Kevin Casefaharn. And the Titans defense has held in the red zone.
Boy, nice job there by Chuck Cecil. They're going to bring pressure off the edge. They bring Bullock up top, corner down the bottom, and do a nice job with Casefaharn peeling off, covering the back out of the backfield.
So the 49ers are forced to settle for a short field goal. Joe Nedney made one from 40 yards away. This is a 25-yard attempt for the veteran. And Nedney nails it. 20-17 San Francisco. It took 9 minutes and 45 seconds, and they still had to settle for just 3 as Nedney converts on the 25-yard field goal, and now Nedney kicks it off to Alvin Pierman. Pierman will take it out of the end zone. Former Jaguar and Seahawk, and Pierman is buried short of the 20-yard line, and he comes back out 10 of 16, 124 yards through the air. Young dialing up the deep ball. Young throwing to Washington, and it's incomplete. 2 men back there. Terrell Brown is back, and Michael Lewis also helping out in coverage.
Well, you had him there. You got to put it out in front, give him a chance. This one was a little bit underthrown. Look at extra hitch. Talk about timing and rhythm in the passing game. You see Nate Washington, he was running right through the coverage in that secondary. The extra hitch here hurts him. Good job by Michael Lewis. Turning back at the last minute, locating that ball.
See the breakdown on Young. Did connect on that one deep ball to Justin Gage early in the day. Back to the ground game.
Uh-oh.
Chris Johnson.
There it is.
He's got sprinter speed down the sideline, and Johnson is gone. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Really poor job by Michael Lewis on the sideline. And as you said, if you don't tackle this guy around the line of scrimmage, you're in trouble, because when he gets in the secondary, nobody is going to catch Chris Johnson. But look at the angle that Michael Lewis had. He had him on the boundary.
81 yards for Johnson. Every week, this guy comes up with another major highlight.
And keep an eye on number 32. He'll be coming in right there. You got to finish that play. You got to make that tackle on the boundary. Poor angle by Michael Lewis.
Now, was he out of bounds? That's the question.
Yeah, look at that. I think they're going to challenge this one. I think his right foot might have been out of bounds.
Had an 89-yard touchdown last week, a 91-yard touchdown against Houston.
Well, you know, you had the number 2 rush defense in football versus the number 2 rushing offense. Something had to give.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field of a touchdown. We'll review the play.
Just watch right here. Just keep an eye on that boundary. Watch his right foot, right there.
Oh, he's out of bounds. Well, the officials are taking a look. Carl Cheffers, the referee, is taking a look at this replay as we zoom in on that right foot, the back of the foot. Chris Johnson.
If he didn't wear a size 13, he might not have had that problem.
Well, it's funny because you would think along that sideline it would have to be the left foot. How could he possibly? But his feet move so quickly that it could actually be the right foot. He made the cut cleanly with the left foot.
I'll tell you what, though, it's amazing. All the tape and film we watch during the course of the week, you see a lot of great players in the National Football League, a lot of guys that can really run. But clearly, when you watch a player like Chris Johnson, I mean, the film does not lie. He has unusual speed when he gets into the secondary.
Well, it's pretty obvious. They've already determined he was out of bounds. Now they're just trying to figure out exactly where he was so that they can spot the football. We'll get the word from Carl Cheffers, and fans will react in a positive nature here at Candlestick.
I think he really fools people with his speed. I really do.
After review, the receiver caught the pass, subsequently stepped out of bounds at the 40.5-yard line. That's where we'll place the ball. San Francisco wins the challenge, will not be charged with a timeout. Please set the game clock to 10:35. 10:35, please.
So Chris Johnson out of bounds. It was that right foot, the step right there, and then was able to walk the tightrope the rest of the way. But that touchdown is negated. San Francisco wins the challenge, and it turns into a 41-yard run.
You know, he gets back to what Greg Manusky, the defensive coordinator, told us the other day. He said, you know, don't underestimate his speed, but more importantly, don't overestimate your speed. That's exactly what strong safety Michael Lewis did on that last play.
And Johnson over 100 yards. First back to do that against the San Francisco D. They'll give it to Johnson again. On the spin. And then a wave of tacklers coming in, led by Paris Harrelson for San Francisco. Takeo spikes also over there to help slow things down. It's a loss on the play.
And a much better job by the San Francisco defense setting the edge in the running game. You see Greg Manusky right there. They talked about this all week. Setting the edge. Don't allow a guy like Chris Johnson to run outside. Force him back up inside where you have help.
You used to drive to work with that gentleman?
I did. I'll tell you what, since that guy's taken over this defense, they've made steady improvement in just about every statistical category defensively here in San Francisco.
Former teammate of yours in Kansas City, Young, fakes the handoff, throws up in the air, and caught! Justin Gage just climbed the imaginary ladder. First down, Tennessee.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that ball just hung up there. It's a great job by Justin Gage, going up as high as he possibly can. He knows he's going to take a nasty hit. Look at that right there. He's concentrating, knowing he's going to take a big hit.
4 catches, 97 yards. Back here in San Francisco, the 49ers have the lead, 20-17 over Tennessee. Why the timeout there from the Titans, Rich?
Just, I'll tell you what, it's bad football. They make a big play. They can't get up to the line of scrimmage. They can't get the play call in, and they waste a valuable timeout.
Titans have only 1 timeout remaining. They've got a 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. Looking to take the lead. Young. And Vince Young is strung out towards the sideline by Michael Lewis. And Lewis comes up limping after the play. It's a 5-yard gain. On a 2nd down now for the Titans. Pitch. Johnson up the middle. And Johnson does not go down first contact. He's not a big guy. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, but he's proven to be a tough runner as Justin Smith gets the tackle.
But this offensive line has done a nice job today, as has the fullback Hall, and certainly a guy like Alge Crumpler coming in there moving some people. But good job of that group up front, moving people at the point.
Very close to a 1st down, and they are going to measure it. It looks short on the initial spot. It appeared they had to get across the 1-yard line, and they're not even at the 1. So you see the distance they need for a new set of downs. It'll be 3rd and less than a yard with 8 minutes to go, and the Titans trailing San Francisco 20-17. Mike Singletary's team is trying to put a halt to a 3-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans, they're 1-6, but you don't think of them in the same light as Detroit or Tampa Bay or Kansas City. They're a better football team than those.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was Mike Singletary's message to this football team this week. He said, hey, forget the stats and the record. This Tennessee team is a good football team.
On 3rd down. Young on a handoff. Lindale White denied. But that initial burst could be enough for a 1st down. Fans are reacting that he didn't get the touchdown, but a good spot will give them new life inside the 1.
Boy, he gets stuffed. Boy, good job up front by Abrea Franklin and that group. Look at that push they get right there. Penetration and short yardage and goal line kills you. This one's going to be close. This is going to be really, really close. I think they're going to be short. Yep.
They are.
They are short. Wow.
So what do you do now? You trail by 3.
It's simple. You're 1-6. You go for it. You're 1-6. This is a team that does not lack confidence. You think about Chris Johnson. He said earlier this week, he said, we really feel like we can run the table the rest of the way. There's not a team we can't beat in our schedule these next 9 weeks.
8th play of the drive.
And you follow this guy right there.
Jumbo formation. On 4th down.
Ooh, the option. Uh-oh.
Chris Johnson.
Second effort gets it done.
Johnson with the touchdown, and the Titans go in front. Chris Johnson would not go down on initial contact, and Tennessee has taken the lead on the road in San Francisco.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Harrelson, you're going to watch Harrelson, number 98 for San Francisco. He's right in position, right there to make the play. Chris Johnson, again, his speed and second effort gets it done. Boy, good job blocking, but look at that. Wow, great effort by Chris Johnson.
You know, the amazing part, too, is Fisher pumps the fist. He's so fast, yet when he goes into that tiptoe motion, it's like it's slow motion for Johnson.
Had a good memory, actually. Went into overtime that day.
Oh, really? I'll have to talk more about that. Baronis on the kick. And Robinson from the 4. Robinson out across the 25, hit from behind as he gets out across the 30-yard line. Alvin Pierman, 27-yard return.
Some great memories playing here at Candlestick Park.
That was back in the 2000 season. Young Rich Gannon, young John Gruden. The world was your oyster. San Francisco takes over with a first down. Smith on a flip for Frank Gore. And Gore is down short of the 35-yard line. He picks up 2.5, 3 yards on the play. Clock is moving. Under 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Tennessee leads it 24-20.
Boy, a lot of talking going on between plays, isn't it? I mean, this is an important game for both of these teams. And, you know, Tennessee trying to get their swagger back, and certainly the 49ers at 3-4, coming off of 3 straight losses, trying to get back in the win column.
12th all-time meeting. 49ers lead with a record of 7-4. Last time these two teams met, 2005, a 33-22 Tennessee win. Steve McNair, the late Steve McNair, had 3 touchdowns. Smith throwing, telegraphs, and intercepted. It's picked off by Chris Hope. And the play is whistled down where he came up with the INT.
Never feels Chris Hope, who was sitting there the whole way. He had his eyes in the backfield reading Alex Smith. You look at his head, he's late, and right there, Chris Hope waiting to make the play.
Second interception of the season for Hope. He went to the Pro Bowl last year, one of the leaders of this defense. What a great pickup he's turned out to be from Pittsburgh, won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, and now has given Tennessee the advantage with 6:13 to go. They take over. Handoff, it's Johnson. And Johnson running in between the tackles. He picks up 2 yards. Kentwan Balmer there to bring him down. Second year out of North Carolina. Well, it's part of the learning process for Alex Smith, but he's not getting victories as a starter. Just going back to before he suffered the injuries, Alex Smith has suffered 6 straight losses as a starting quarterback.
Well, it's not good, and part of it is decisions like that. And, you know, one of the things that they've done actually a much better job this year is taking care of the football. They had 35 giveaways a year ago. That was the league high. They were -17 in the turnover ratio. They've been better this season, but today there's too many costly mistakes.
Ball at the 37, handoff, it's Johnson. Who's got the speed? Patrick Willis does.
That's amazing right there. That just shows you the speed that Patrick Willis has at the linebacker position. You got to find a way to get off the field on 3rd down.
Fake the handoff. Here's Young, little flip to Scaife, and he's got a first down. The old college connection. Vince Young to Bo Scaife. Longhorns working their chemistry for a 15-yard pickup and a new set of downs.
Watch, you're going to see Lawson here. They both come off and they turn Bo Scaife loose. One should have rushed the quarterback. One should have dropped in coverage. You're going to see some confusion right here. Nice job by Vince Young holding the ball to the very last second. But a little miscommunication there. The defensive side for the 49ers.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line of San Francisco. Scaife now the motion man. We come up on 4 minutes to play. Handoff to Lendale White. The biggest number, no interceptions, no costly mistakes. Give is to Johnson. And Johnson up the middle, turns that into a 5-yard gain. He makes those runs even look routine.
Yeah, it really does. And you talked a little bit about Vince Young today, Ian. No interceptions. I think that's the key for him. And a much better job with his preparation.
He's just hoping that the defense could hold Tennessee to a field goal and keep it a 1-score game, so the offense has an opportunity to operate with a chance to come back and rally. A touchdown here for Tennessee probably ices it for the Titans in their 2nd win of the season. 3rd and 5. Out of the timeout. Fake the handoff. Vince Young. And wrestled down by Patrick Willis.
I'll tell you what, that guy is a player. He is a real football player.
28-yard field goal attempt to give Tennessee a 7-point lead. Rob Baronis.
That was a big stop by the San Francisco defense. Now you give yourself and your offense a chance to get back in this game.
And Baronis splits the uprights. Tennessee with a 27-20 lead. 3:06 to go. Plenty of time left in this 4th quarter. 17 points off of turnovers. The latest coming from Chris Hope.
Yeah, you need to have a short memory. He needs to forget about that last throw. And you know, it's amazing. You know, he's been in so many different systems and footwork, and it's confusing. He told us on Friday, he said there was times I can remember early in my career dropping back, thinking about footwork.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Rob Baronis kicks it off. Returns have not been a big part of this game so far. Michael Robinson trying to change that. He will not, as he gets out across the 25-yard line. Kevin Casefaharn makes the play on special teams, and here comes Alex Smith. And the 49ers offense with an even 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Some final instructions. Jimmy Ray will be calling the plays from upstairs. And the 49ers trail the Titans by 7.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm Alex Smith right now, I'm thinking about Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree, 2 of my young players that really have the chance not only to make some plays in space, but once they get the ball in their hands, they can really make some big plays.
Shotgun formation. Gore parallel to Smith with a 3-receiver set. 49ers down by a touchdown. Smith rifles, knocked up in the air, and intercepted. Cortland Finnegan's got it. And Finnegan down the sideline, stumbling his way towards the end zone. He's out of bounds. The Tennessee Titans defense has done it again.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's been a number of contested throws, and Cortland Finnegan just in the right place at the right time, but boy, just a disappointing finish. Good protection. Tries to look it off, and boy, just a great job right there by Vincent Fuller. We talked about the importance of having him back. He's meant so much to this defense, Vincent Fuller.
Excuse me, it's a touchdown for the Titans. There was never any reaction from the officials that Finnegan had gotten in cleanly. And the Titans have put this game away. It's over. The Tennessee Titans 34, the 49ers 20 with 2:51 to go in the 4th. And say goodnight here in the Bay Area. Titans with the big lead now. 2-touchdown advantage and 2:51 to go. Robinson the return. And Niners have gotten nothing out of that phase of the game. 2:45 remaining here in this 4th quarter. And for Vince Young, the leadership and the maturity, something that Jeff Fisher talked about, Mike Heimerdinger talked about. They lift Coffee upright.
I think it was a big step in the right direction again for Vince Young, and you know, his ability to kind of come out here and take care of the football and make good decisions and not turn it over. That's really the difference between the 2 quarterbacks today. Vince Young did a good job taking care of the football while Alex Smith did not, and that's why they're going to win this football game. And I think I think what we're seeing is Vince Young is slowly but surely becoming a master of his domain. And to play that position, that's what you have to be. And I think that we're starting to see signs of progress with Vince Young.
They're helping Coffey off the field.
Boy, some of those collisions, as you know, in the kicking game are significant.
Oh, they're brutal.
Guys running full speed down the field, and not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. That's why I was never on the return unit.
Really?
I never covered kicks. That's why I didn't do that. I didn't do the messy stuff, you see. I
in
tried
your-
to stay away from that.
In your life?
Yeah, my life. Yeah, in Little League, Pop Warner, I didn't do that. High school, no.
Nothing.
No. They saved me.
They
They
just-
saved me for the good work, not
Yeah.
the dirty work.
You threw the football. That was it.
That's it. Let's see if Alex Smith can throw it here a little bit.
You did punt as well.
Yes.
Smith throwing to the sideline, and Vernon Davis. Why didn't he go out of bounds? Oh, he was trying to get extra yardage.
And you could hear the Tennessee players yelling at him. Did you hear that? You could hear it through the official's microphone. He said, yeah, you got to get out of bounds there.
Down to 2:20 left. 4 receiver set. And Smith guns it. And breaking down the sideline,
Whoa.
Jason Hill. And caught from behind by Tulloch.
Good job here. Watch him make a miss right there. Cortland Finnegan, he doesn't miss a lot of tackles in the open field. And
We'll hit the 2-minute warning. Now fans have cleared out here in San Francisco. Well, what they saw was an exceptional performance from Chris Johnson. Big plays defensively from the Tennessee Titans. Opportunities missed by the 49ers and their quarterback Alex Smith. Flags come down.
you're going to get that on Michael Crabtree up top.
Been a quiet day for Crabtree.
Neutral zone infraction, number 78 defense. His movement into the neutral zone caused a reaction by the offense.
Tennessee with a 34-20 lead. Smith throwing and caught. It would have to be a booth review.
You can see they're trying to get Crabtree lined up.
The previous play is under review.
I think he might have bobbled that on the boundary.
No. Did you see a ball?
Yep.
Never had full control of it. So this one will come back.
I'm surprised this official right there on the boundary misses that. He's sitting right there. He's right in position to make that call.
Jeff Fisher was all over it. It was right in front of him.
You know, it's a great story about Michael Crabtree. You know, they started in that Houston game a couple weeks ago, and we talked about the fact that they didn't get him started in the playbook. They just wanted him to focus learning the game plan. There you see, clearly didn't make that catch, but they go into the Houston game, and they get into a 2-minute situation at the end of the game, and he had never been in a 2-minute situation before. Wasn't familiar with all the calls and the code words, and so that really was a problem for him. And so he's literally learning each week, and that's what happens when you're a rookie and you miss most of the off-season program and certainly all of training camp.
Well, we asked Vince Young about Crabtree and if he had any ill will towards him for what he did last year against his Texas Longhorns, a touchdown with 1 second left to pull off the upset for Texas Tech. And Vince said, yeah, I'm going to have some things to say to him before the game. There's no doubt. I got to talk to him.
Oh, yeah. They're two very, very good players. And this kid right here, I think he's got a real bright future in this league. You know, I talked with Jimmy Ray, their offensive coordinator. He says he's got natural, innate football intelligence. And this certainly speeds up the process for us and for him to be able to play right away, and a guy that has a great feel for the game. And really, it's amazing when you sit here and watch him make catches.
After review, the receiver bobbled the ball, did not have possession before he went out of bounds. That's an incomplete pass. Be second down.
Yeah, and I think San Francisco, this is a devastating loss, and they need to get on their horse and keep up with Arizona. And I think that the big thing when you watch this team play, the offense has to find a way to be more consistent and more productive in ball games.
Catch made by Vernon Davis. He'll be short of the first down line. So for Chuck Cecil, that secondary coming through for him. His guys, because he was the former defensive back coach.
And those stats.
Smith from the gun throws on 4th down, and he's got Vernon Davis for a first down. A flag is down, though. And 2 penalty markers on the play. Clock stops with 1:39 remaining in this fourth quarter. Just playing out the string here with Tennessee in front by 2 touchdowns. 5 penalties today against San Francisco, 7 against Tennessee.
Offside, number 78 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, face mask on the defense. That penalty is accepted. 15 yards added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Carl Cheffers. Tennessee penalized again.
Yeah, you can see right there the face mask. I'll tell you what, Tennessee's got to feel good about their performance to go on the road and win today, but they better get things straightened out defensively in terms of the false start, the neutral zone infraction penalties. I mean, just unnecessary. You know, you just keep on. The more you do that, the more opportunities you give for an offense, and didn't cost them today, but it will eventually if they don't get it straightened out.
Well, if the Niners can score quickly here, get the onside kick, we might have something brewing. Smith knocked down at the line of scrimmage by big Tony Brown for Tennessee. Titans came in dead last in the NFL against the pass. San Francisco has thrown for a total of 237 yards. Shotgun formation for Smith, and too high, looking for Morgan. 1:31 remaining, and the fans that have remained here at Candlestick reacting.
And the really good ones, they don't miss those throws. When you have them open in this league, you got to hit them. To me, he seems like he's just a little bit late. He wants to just check and make sure that what he's seeing is really clear and it's true to and that's, you got to anticipate. The ball has to come out of your hands a little bit quicker, and that just comes with experience in this system.
From the gun, Smith throwing. He's got Morgan, and met quickly by Cortland Finnegan. 4-yard gain. They're not allowing much of the clock to elapse. Still have 1:26 to work with, but now facing a 4th down. Justin Gage headed to the locker room a little bit early. On 4th down, here's Smith. And hit before he got to the marker, Frank Gore. Cortland Finnegan with the stick.
I'll tell you what, Cortland Finnegan, he'll hit you now. There's a reason why this guy's a Pro Bowl player.
I think they're going to review the spot of this. It was a favorable spot out on the field. Yeah, they've not won a road game out west since December of 2001.
Stands. First down, San Francisco.
So the first down will stand. December of 2001. That includes the playoffs. That's 7 losses in a row on the West Coast. 1-9 in their last 10.
I was there that day.
You were there.
It was against the Raiders, I believe. I'm embarrassed to say I was probably a part of that.
That was your last win?
They was their last win, but then.
Oh, let's do some research.
I think that might have been against the Raiders.
That's on your record, you're saying?
It's on my watch, I'm sorry to say.
Shotgun for Smith, and a touchdown.
Oh, onside, we're back in it.
Jason Hill. Second touchdown of the day for Hill.
Boy, extra point here, and now all of a sudden you got a chance to make this thing a little bit interesting. Boy, Jason Hill's had a nice day, but he has had a couple nice catches. And
Joe Nedney on for the extra point, 39 seconds remaining. And it's 34-27 after the 11-play 78-yard drive for San Francisco. A recovery and the game will be over. As long as Tennessee comes up with the football, if San Francisco comes up with it, we get some late game drama. 1 timeout remaining for each team.
And you're Alex Smith on the boundary now. You're talking about all the scenarios, different plays, obviously, that you can try and get orchestrated here to try and go 60 or 70 yards. So you learned this one right here from Craig Hentrick down in Tennessee. Good job. Good job fielding that one.
Gerald McGrath, the rookie linebacker from Southern Miss. 4th round pick, hauls it in. And that'll do it.
And that's not what Joe Nedney was hoping. They was hoping to get that one extra bounce where the ball kicks up real high in the air. And good job by Gerald McGrath. He's going to come catch us before it actually hits the ground the second time. And That's what you have to do. When you're fielding an onside kick, you have to be aggressive. You have to attack it. You can't sit back and wait.
So for the Tennessee Titans, they improved to 2-6 on the season. Back-to-back wins. Disappointing through the first 6 weeks. They have responded since the bye with 2 victories.
Let's think about this, Ian. They've had 106 head coaches on 31 other NFL teams since 1995, while the Tennessee Titans have had just Jeff Fisher. 106 different head coaches.
Longest tenure in the NFL. It belongs to Jeff Fisher, and this victory belongs to the Tennessee Titans.